Have you ever wondered what it would be like if everything you touched turned to gold? The ultimate dream of infinite wealth, right? But what if I told you that this dream once became the most terrifying nightmare imaginable? Welcome to Ancient Chronicles, where we uncover the darkest secrets of mythology. Today, we're diving into one of history's most tragic tales, the story of King Midas and his cursed golden touch. Before we begin this haunting journey, I want you to imagine something. Picture yourself sitting on a throne of pure gold, surrounded by unimaginable wealth. Everything around you gleams with a metallic sheen. Sounds perfect, doesn't it? But there's a catch, a devastating one that King Midas learned far too late. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll think twice about wishing for unlimited riches. You see, in the depths of ancient mythology lies a warning so powerful, so relevant, that it continues to echo through the centuries. It's a tale of greed, ambition, and the terrible price we pay when our desires blind us to what truly matters. King Midas wasn't just any ruler, he was a man whose insatiable hunger for wealth would lead him down a path of unimaginable suffering. By the way, if you're fascinated by ancient mysteries and the dark lessons they hold, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of history enthusiasts. Together, we'll uncover the hidden meanings behind humanity's most enduring legends. As we delve deeper into this tragic tale, you'll discover how a single wish transformed a powerful king into a prisoner of his own desire. The story of Midas isn't just a myth, it's a mirror reflecting our own relationship with wealth and power. And perhaps most chillingly, it's a reminder that our greatest wishes often carry the seeds of our destruction. Let me ask you something. What would you do if you had the power to turn everything you touch into gold? Think carefully before you answer, because as King Midas discovered, some powers come with a price too terrible to bear. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you do with such a gift or curse. The tale we're about to explore isn't just about gold or greed. It's about the fundamental choices that shape our lives. It's about the moment when having everything means losing what matters most. And trust me, the ending of this story might not be what you expect. So, are you ready to discover the dark truth behind the golden touch? To witness how one man's greatest dream became his worst nightmare? Then let's begin our journey into the tragic tale of King Midas, a story that might just change the way you think about wealth forever. Mythology and context throughout human history. Myths have served as more than just entertaining stories. They've been our teachers, our warnings, and our guides through the complexities of human nature. These ancient tales, passed down through generations, carry wisdom that remains surprisingly relevant today. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, "That's their Achilles heel," or mention opening Pandora's box? These phrases come from the same rich tradition that gave us the story of King Midas. In the heart of ancient Phrygia, a kingdom located in what is now modern-day Turkey, lived a ruler whose name would become synonymous with both ultimate wealth and devastating tragedy. King Midas wasn't born into tragedy. In fact, he was born into extraordinary privilege. His kingdom was already one of the wealthiest in the ancient world, known for its sprawling palaces and magnificent treasures. But for Midas, having plenty was never enough. He was a man consumed by an insatiable desire for more. Before we continue this fascinating journey through ancient history, I want to remind our viewers that Ancient Chronicles brings you new mysteries and legends every week. If you're enjoying this dark tale of desire and consequence, hit that subscribe button to ensure you never miss an episode. Now, back to our story. The ancient Greeks believed that the gods walked among them, testing mortals and teaching them harsh lessons about hubris, the dangerous pride that makes humans believe they can rival the gods themselves. Phrygia was a land where such beliefs ran deep, where every rustling leaf might be a deity in disguise, and every stranger at your door could be a god in mortal form. This superstitious atmosphere would play a crucial role in the events that were about to unfold. Imagine walking through the streets of ancient Phrygia. Golden statues catch the sunlight, elaborate tapestries hang from marble columns, and the air is thick with the scent of exotic spices. This was Midas's world, a place where wealth wasn't just displayed, it was worshipped. The king's palace was said to be so opulent that visitors would be struck speechless upon entering. But even surrounded by such splendor, Midas's heart remained unsatisfied. The thing about wealth is that it can be like a mirage in the desert. The more you chase it, the further it seems to recede. Midas had everything a king could desire: power, respect, a beautiful kingdom, and a loving family. But his eyes were always fixed on the horizon, always searching for more gold, more riches, more everything. Little did he know, his obsession was about to lead him down a path from which there might be no return. As our story unfolds, remember that the gods of ancient Greece were not known for their mercy. When they taught lessons, they taught them harshly. And Midas was about to learn the most brutal lesson of all, one that would echo through the centuries as a warning to all who might be tempted by unlimited power. What makes this story particularly fascinating is how it mirrors our own struggles with desire and satisfaction. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What's something you've wanted so badly, only to realize it might not bring the happiness you expected? Your experiences might be more similar to Midas's than you think. The golden wish, the pivotal moment in our tale, arrives when fate brings King Midas face to face with Dionysus, the god of wine and revelry. But this meeting wasn't by chance. It was through an act of kindness that would ironically lead to Midas's greatest tragedy. You see, Midas had found Dionysus's beloved mentor, Silenus, wandering drunk through his gardens. Instead of punishing the intruder, Midas showed hospitality, entertaining Silenus for 10 days and nights before returning him safely to Dionysus. Impressed by this display of generosity, Dionysus appeared before Midas with an offer that would change everything. "Ask for anything," the god proclaimed, "and it shall be yours." Now, imagine yourself in that moment, face to face with a deity, offered anything your heart desires. What would you wish for? For those watching, pause for a moment and really think about it. What would your heart's deepest desire be? If you're enjoying these thought-provoking questions, make sure to subscribe to Ancient Chronicles for more fascinating historical dilemmas. Without hesitation, Midas made his fateful request: "I wish that everything I touch would turn to gold." The words hung in the air like heavy smoke. Dionysus, it said, frowned at this wish, not in anger, but in something closer to pity. He knew, as gods often do, that Midas had just sealed his own fate. But a promise is a promise, even among the gods, and so the wish was granted. The look in Dionysus's eyes should have been warning enough, but Midas was too excited to notice. Here was the ultimate power, the ability to create endless wealth with just a touch. Think about it. Every brush of his fingers would multiply his fortune. Every step would leave golden footprints. Every moment would make him richer than the moment before. It seemed like the perfect wish, didn't it? As Dionysus vanished, leaving Midas alone with his new power, the king could hardly contain his excitement. He reached out to touch a nearby branch, and instantly, it transformed into solid gold. The leaves, the bark, every tiny twig, all perfectly preserved in precious metal. Midas laughed with joy, already imagining his kingdom becoming the wealthiest in all of history. He touched a stone gold, a flower gold, a table gold. Everything he touched transformed instantly into perfect, gleaming gold. The power was intoxicating. With each new transformation, Midas's excitement grew. He ran through his palace, touching walls, furniture, tapestries, creating a golden paradise with every step. But as we know, paradise can quickly become a prison. Before we continue with what happened next, I want you to share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think would be the first thing you'd turn to gold if you had this power? It's fascinating to see how different people would use such an ability. Your answers might reveal more about yourself than you think. Little did Midas know, but these first moments of joy would be his last. The curse of the golden touch was about to reveal its true nature, and the price of unlimited wealth would prove far steeper than anyone could have imagined. The real nightmare was about to begin. The curse unfolds. The first signs that something was terribly wrong came at dinner time. Hungry from his day of turning objects into gold, Midas sat down to feast. But as he reached for a grape, it turned to metal in his hands. He tried to drink his wine, but it transformed into liquid gold the moment it touched his lips. Piece by piece, everything he tried to eat or drink became inedible, metallic, worthless despite its value. The king who could create infinite wealth couldn't enjoy the simplest meal. Panic began to set in as the reality of his situation became clear. He couldn't eat. He couldn't drink. He couldn't sleep on his bed, now a cold, hard slab of gold. Even his clothes, if he tried to adjust them, would become rigid metal. The palace that had seemed so beautiful in its golden transformation now felt like a tomb. Every step he took was a reminder of his terrible power, as even the floor beneath his feet turned to gold. But the true horror of the golden touch was yet to come. In what would become the most tragic moment of the myth, Midas's beloved daughter, seeing her father in distress, ran to comfort him. Without thinking, acting on pure paternal instinct, Midas reached out to embrace her. In that split second, before he could stop himself, his daughter was transformed into a perfect golden statue, forever frozen in a moment of love and concern. This is where I need to pause our tale for a moment. If you're finding this story as powerful as I do, please consider subscribing to Ancient Chronicles. We explore these profound moments in history and mythology every week, examining what they can teach us about our own lives and choices. Now, back to our tragic king. Redemption attempt. In his desperation, Midas did something he had never done before. He prayed, not for more wealth or power, but for deliverance from his curse. His prayers reached Dionysus, who, moved by the king's genuine remorse, appeared once again. The god found a very different Midas from the one who had so eagerly accepted the golden touch. This Midas was broken, humbled, and finally understanding the true meaning of wealth. Dionysus, seeing the genuine change in Midas's heart, offered him a chance at redemption. The god instructed him to travel to the source of the river Pactolus and wash away his curse in its waters. This journey would not be easy. Midas would have to travel carefully, avoiding contact with any living thing, knowing that a single touch could bring more tragedy. Before we continue with Midas's journey to redemption, I want to share something with our viewers. Just like Midas learned valuable lessons from his experience, we at Ancient Chronicles strive to bring you stories that offer deep insights into human nature. If you're finding value in these ancient teachings, consider subscribing to join our community of knowledge seekers. Now, let's return to our story. The journey to the Pactolus River was both physical and spiritual. Every step Midas took was a reminder of his hubris. Every golden footprint left behind told the story of his transformation. The once proud king now moved like a ghost through his own lands, careful not to touch anything or anyone, carrying the weight of his daughter's fate heavy in his heart. When Midas finally reached the river, he did as Dionysus instructed. As he submerged himself in the flowing waters, something miraculous happened. The curse began to wash away, flowing downstream in glittering particles. Legend has it that this is why the Pactolus River carried gold in its sands for centuries afterward. It was carrying away Midas's curse. The symbolism of this cleansing ritual runs deep. Water, the source of life, washing away the taint of greed and excess. It's a powerful metaphor that resonates even today. What would you want to wash away if you could? Share your thoughts in the comments below. What burden would you like to release into the flowing waters of change? But the question remained, could Midas truly be redeemed? As the curse left his body, would it also cleanse his soul of the greed that had led him to this point? The physical transformation was immediate. He could touch things again without turning them to gold. But the mental transformation, the true change, would take much longer. Return to his palace he did, and yes, his daughter and everything else he had turned to gold returned to their original forms. But Midas was never the same. How could he be? He had learned the ultimate price of unchecked desire, and that knowledge would stay with him forever. Some lessons once learned can never be unlearned. Modern parallels and lessons in the shadows of our modern world. Midas's curse lives on, wearing different masks, but carrying the same devastating power. We see it in the hollow eyes of Wall Street executives who've sacrificed their souls for another zero in their bank accounts. We witness it in the broken families left behind by those who chose the pursuit of wealth over the warmth of love. The golden touch has evolved, but its victims remain just as tragic. Consider the tech billionaire who dies alone in his mansion, surrounded by smart devices, but no human touch. Or the cryptocurrency trader who loses everything, not just money, but sanity, watching digital numbers flash across a screen at AM. These aren't just cautionary tales. They're modern incarnations of Midas's tragedy, playing out in real time across our digital landscape. The curse manifests differently now. Instead of literal gold, we turn our time into money, our relationships into networking opportunities, our passions into side hustles. Everything must be monetized, optimized, transformed into profit. But just like Midas, we're creating our own gilded prisons, where everything of value has been transformed into something that only looks valuable. In corporate boardrooms across the world, modern Midases sign papers that turn communities into profit centers, forests into spreadsheet numbers, and human lives into quarterly reports. They too have the golden touch. Everything they touch turns to profit. But at what cost? The air becomes unbreathable, the water undrinkable, relationships unsalvageable. Social media platforms have become modern temples where millions pray for their own version of the golden touch: viral fame, influencer status, monetizable followers. Each like, share, and subscribe becomes another piece of gold, cold and meaningless, yet desperately desired. We're all potential Midases now, one viral moment away from turning our authentic selves into marketable products. But perhaps the darkest parallel lies in how we've normalized our own destruction. Like Midas before his revelation, we celebrate each transformation, each conversion of the sacred into the sellable. We applaud as ancient forests become luxury condos, as clean water becomes bottled products, as human attention becomes a tradable commodity. We're creating a world where everything is worth something, but nothing has value. The curse of knowledge haunts us too. Unlike Midas, we can't claim ignorance. We see the melting ice caps, the burning forests, the rising seas, all consequences of our collective golden touch. Yet like him, we seem unable to stop ourselves, trapped in a system that demands constant growth, endless transformation, infinite profit. But perhaps there's a darker truth still. Unlike Midas, we may not have a river to wash away our curse. Our transformation of the world may be permanent, our golden touch irreversible. Each day, more species vanish, more resources deplete, more human connections dissolve into digital transactions. We're not just creating a golden world, we're creating a golden tomb. Look around your own life. What have you turned to gold? What warmth have you sacrificed for shine? What living, breathing parts of your existence have you transformed into cold, dead assets? The curse of Midas wasn't just his burden, it's become our legacy. Conclusion and call to action as we reach the end of our journey through the tragic tale of King Midas. Let's take a moment to reflect on the profound wisdom this ancient story offers. We've witnessed how a single wish, born from unlimited greed, transformed a powerful king into a cautionary tale for the ages. From his initial joy to his devastating realization, from his desperate plea for redemption to his eventual transformation, Midas's journey mirrors our own struggles with desire and satisfaction. The story of the golden touch transcends time because it speaks to something fundamental in human nature, our tendency to chase after things we think will make us happy, only to discover that true happiness often lies in what we already have. In our modern world of instant gratification and constant consumption, this message rings truer than ever. Before we wrap up this dark tale, I want to thank you for joining me on this exploration of ancient wisdom. If you've enjoyed diving deep into these timeless stories, Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our growing community at Ancient Chronicles. Together, we'll continue uncovering the hidden meanings behind history's greatest legends. Think about it. What's your personal golden touch? What desire or ambition might you need to keep in check? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every comment, and your perspective might help others reflect on their own relationship with wealth and happiness. Remember, the tragedy of Midas isn't just that he received exactly what he wished for, it's that he wished for the wrong thing. In our own lives, we face similar choices every day. What are we prioritizing? What are we willing to sacrifice? And most importantly, what would we give anything to get back? The legend of King Midas serves as an eternal reminder that our greatest desires can indeed become our darkest curses. It teaches us to be careful what we wish for, to value what truly matters, and to understand that true wealth isn't measured in gold. It's measured in love, relationships, and moments of genuine connection. As we close this chapter of Ancient Chronicles, I leave you with this question. What would you sacrifice for unlimited wealth? Or perhaps more importantly, what would you never sacrifice, no matter the reward? Share your answers in the comments below, and let's continue this fascinating discussion. If you've enjoyed this journey into ancient wisdom, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Ancient Chronicles, and hit that notification bell to never miss an upload. Together, we'll continue exploring the timeless lessons that history and mythology have to offer. Until next time, remember, true wealth isn't what you can hold in your hands, it's what you hold in your heart.